Spring has finally sprung. Let's go look for some mushrooms.
This is the property where my grandpa grew up, and it's packed full of super unique natural areas, like the beaver pond, the winding river, the mossy grove, the springs, the fen, and more. This spring, I quit my desk job in the city and moved out here with the goal of documenting this area's huge diversity and connecting with its ecosystems. My ultimate goal is to find a brand new species of mushroom. Come with me as I explore my new backyard and learn as much as I possibly can about nature. Today I'm in the Mossy Grove, foraging in the beautiful boreal forest of Alberta. This zone usually has some wild finds, but it's really early in the season where I'm at. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled and I'm excited to see what turns up.
Whoa, check that out. This was one of the very first things that I was able to identify when I started foraging, and it is so distinct, so unique, and so easy to find. It's very common and it adds such a nice, bright splash of color to the forest landscape. This is the red-belted conch, otherwise known as Fomitopsis mountsae. Now, the red-belted conch was recently split up into multiple species, and this Fomitopsis mountsae differs from the traditional medicinal mushroom Fomitopsis pinicola. This is a bit too small for our human eyes to see, but when you get up really close, you can see all those tiny little pores. It smells kind of sweet, but I find that most polypores do in the springtime, so I wouldn't call that a distinct trait. Funny story about this red-belted conch. In its infancy stage during my first year foraging, I found this Fomitopsis mountsae on this exact stump. It looked exactly like an ice cream cone, and it's a really good example of how mushrooms look very different at different stages of their life cycles. I was asking every forum, every group, and of course nobody knew what this mystery ice cream cone fungus was. But it was indeed a red-belted conch, and I only realized that coming back the next year when it had grown up enough to see the red color come in. Now it is flourishing here and also starting to take up this tree, and it's really cool to see, but it's just a funny experience for me in my early days foraging.
After this point, I caught some of the usual suspects like this hoof fungus and some other cool specimens, but nothing to call home about. My first day is done, but we're expecting some rain and I'll be back out soon.
All right, I'm out here for another day looking in the woods. Today we're in a poplar and aspen grove, and we got some rain, so I'm really hoping to find some stuff. Today I have a companion in the forest who is helping me scope out some mushrooms. Oh man, what is that? Whoa, I can't believe I spotted that. This is a Verpa bohemica. It is an edible mushroom I have never found in the wild before and never eaten. This mushroom is incredibly fragile. I managed to break this one multiple times just by kind of being around it and lightly touching it. But it has this wrinkled cap that you can see, and that's how to tell it apart from other Verpas. The other Verpa you might get this confused with is Verpa conica, but that has a much smoother cap. This one has a very wrinkled cap. You can see that it is not connected at the bottom of the stem there. It's only at the top of the cap. I did not expect to find this, and I'm so stoked on an amazing start to the day. Yes, 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 yes! Those are no Verpas. These are proper morels. This is such a good day. This is a black morel, otherwise known as Morchella elata, and it is a true proper morel. This is a very prized edible mushroom.
Finding one morel means there are likely many more hiding nearby. Sure enough, we lucked out and found many more, but it was still no easy task.
They're so crazy hard to find. Once you see one, it's like you have to keep your eye on it or you'll lose it again.
Let's play Find the Morel. I'll give you 5 seconds. Don't worry if you didn't get it because it took us a lot more than 5 seconds.
Dinner.
Since I'm planning on cooking these up tonight, I'm cutting off the morels to make sure that I don't get too much dirt in my basket. This one looks a bit goofy, and this one is wearing a hat. Unlike Verpas, true morels have a completely hollow stem and the cap connects directly to it.
Look at that! It is absolutely beautiful. This black base up to this red flower cap. Wow, what a cool find.
I was able to identify this amazing mushroom as Microstoma protractum, or the rosy goblet.
Look at these beauties. I'm likely gonna have to send these out for sequencing to find out exactly what they are. Mushrooms like these are literally why I moved out here, because this is the type of thing you don't find in any guidebook.
I'm still waiting to identify this species growing on dead poplar, but I'll be sure to let you know if I figure it out.
What a day in the woods. To make sure I don't have any adverse reactions to the morels and verpas, I'm not going to eat them at the same time. I'm gonna eat the morels first and then the verpas later. Some people don't handle morels well, so I wanna make sure I'm not one of those people. I have a gluten allergy, so I'm used to foods not making me feel good that are pretty common for other people, and I'm gonna take it really slow with the morels and eat them in small quantities.
I ended up just cooking one morel to make sure I got the cook right so I didn't waste this very precious ingredient, but it tasted excellent.
If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a like on this video. It really helps me out. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.